Hi, my name is Jung Meng, and I will be presenting your first conversation with the prospects in chapter 6 of the book. So, before the call, before we call him, or uh, we called him, you want to practice into a recorder, talk into an imaginary crowd, be confident, be hyped, be passionate, get a quiet area, be mindful, don't keep pushing for a sale, and no speakerphone if in a group. Sorry. Um, so, with the first point, see how when you're practicing into a recorder, see how your voice is and see how enthusiastic it is. I want to find a good balance into it. My second point, talking to an imaginary crowd. You want to practice into an imaginary crowd for the real crowd, and so you won't be as nervous. My third point, confidence. Confidence is always key. You always want to mean what you say and not stutter or anything like that. Be hyped. And so in this point, you just don't want to sound lazy. You don't want to sound unenthusiastic, and you want to be hyped for the conversation. Be ready. Passion. Uh, it's like kind of as my last point. You want to be passionate about what you're talking about, and because it can influence the prospect. And if you're passionate, he'll be passionate, or she'll be passionate. Uh, get a quiet area, of course. You don't want to be in a really loud area talking with prospects, and yeah, it's just really annoying for the prospects, and it'll just give you a bad impression. Be mindful, of course. Be mindful of their opinions and feelings. Of course, you're catering towards them, and that's really important. And don't keep on pushing for a sale. No means no. So don't be annoying. If they say no, just move on. You don't want to push because that can influence other future opportunities. And no speakerphone if in a group. It's just really annoying, especially if there's many prospects and you're talking. Many people are just talking at the same time, and it's just really annoying for and not professional. So budgetary. So my points were asking questions about budget, limitations, don't bug the customer, be empathetic, budgetary cycle, ask for future opportunities, marketing plan start, direct leads, and agreement. So with my points, the first point, asking questions about budget and limitations, you want to ask about the limitations and budget restrictions that the prospect potentially will have, and he will appreciate that you're asking that because or she will appreciate or they will appreciate because you're willing to understand the limitations of what they have and what budget they will have for this kind of plan. And, it's really nice to have understanding people. Don't bug the customer. Like my last slide, just don't bug them about the budget and don't keep on trying to sell and trying to uh, annoy the customer and prospect. Be empathetic. Don't whine. Don't whine about it. It's just nothing will happen. It's just you have to be empathetic and willing to understand the limitations of what the budget is. Budgetary cycle. You want to always ask about that. Is it physically or annually? It will help you map out the future, and it might keep the conversation alive as well. Uh, ask for future opportunities, such as marketing plan start and direct leads. Direct leads can lead to other opportunities from non-competitors. And an agreement. You want to reach an agreement with the prospect and meet at a good time and day and finish pleasantly to end the conversation. You don't want to end abruptly or badly. Sports as an entity. So these were my points. Reach for women, healthcare, technology, buzzwords, engaged in personalities, and experience. So, for me, reach for women. My first point. Ask about the outreach towards women and more gender neutral programs and clinics. I think this is really important because it reaches to a different market as well, and it helps for the outreach of gender neutrality. And I don't want to be too political, but yeah, I think it's really good to have because women don't get as much recognition or like in my opinion, and they should have more programs and clinics just like guys do. So I think, and it reaches towards a different more market. So there's more money in that market as well if you outreach to more gender neutral and to the women, which is nice. Healthcare. Uh, it's you always want to find healthcare information and insurers because you just it's always important to understand what healthcare the company has. Technology. You want to talk about future technology if the prospect is hesitant about sports. Technology will help with the sports marketing regardless, so it will help no matter what. Technology is a tool we can use. Sorry, we can use, uh, and it's very nice to have. It just creates more better opportunities and faster ways to uh, further the plan. Buzzwords. You want to use buzzwords to capture consumers, like riveting, fascinating, gripping. Just captures the attention. Engaging personalities. You want to use other personalities, not just yourself, to help create ideas and influence new ideas as well. And experience, with more experience, this will create more opportunities. Uh, Expensive, asking questions and listening. Taking a meeting, face to face, move on. 5 steps to listen better. Silence, sound mixer, savoring, listening position, and rasa. So, taking a meeting. Ask for a meeting about expenses and how we both can figure out ways to overcome that budget problem because I think budget problem is the most popular problem there is with making a plan, marketing plan, because money's always going to be a problem. You don't want to full dive and talk about it on the phone because it's just not, I think, in my opinion, not professional. And it's better to have it face to face about the problem, especially with money and budget. And so, yeah, don't deep dive on the phone. Just try to meet face to face somewhere and talk about the problem, if there is any. If it doesn't look like it's going anywhere, just move on. If the other party or other prospect is not willing to do anything, just move on. There's no point in staying because you're not getting what you want, and not being able to do your job and implementing this plan without a certain amount of budget. So 5 steps to listen better. Got silence, sound mixer, savoring, listening, positions, and rasa or RASA. So silence. 3 minutes of silence a day is perfect because it lets your mind and your ears reset and listen to subtle sounds, and letting someone talk also gives you more time to respond better and have a better response into what you're talking about or what he or she is talking about. A sound mixer. Take time to like isolate and listen to each individual track of sound you hear. Improves your listening as well. Savoring. You wanna when listening to a prospect, you wanna listen to like patterns and like rhythms, and you want to pick up those patterns and rhythms and change and try to decipher what kind of speech the prospect's having, and you want to use that and learn to their liking, so they'll like you more. Listening positions. Sometimes we're both active and passive at the same time in the conversation. Like at first, you're probably going to be more empathetic and more passive, but later in the conversation, you'll be like more confident and more energetic and more constructive and more affirming about offers and counterpoints, which is nice. And and lastly, RASA or RASA. So R stands for receive the information. A, appreciate what is being said. S, summarize the conversation. And A, again, ask the question. So those 4 points, I think, are really important in sales because it gives you a broad message for you to understand what's going on in the prospect's mind and how it will help you construct a better sellable package plan or marketing plan or pitch for them. So the call. So my points were comfortable, don't be limited, break the ice, humor, learn fast, first impressions, keep goal in mind, and pitfalls. So my first point, be comfortable. You always want to be comfortable. You don't want to be really tense and not comfortable because it's just really if you're not comfortable, they won't be comfortable. So don't be limited. Don't be limited to just sports. You can go into like pop culture or like music, and you want to be, and also you want to break the ice. You want to use like humor, for example, or something interesting, and or something easy, just like how are you, or how was your day today, something like that. But you don't want to be a wise guy when you're using humor because you don't want to be a smart, like really annoying guy. So lastly, learn fast. You want to learn about your prospect really fast, about about who the person is, and want to be polite and keep in mind if he or she is the decision maker, you want to cater towards them. If not, ask for the decision maker and talk to them. First impressions. You always want to have a good first impression. You want to give a quick vision statement and make sure your 30 seconds of talking to them are really important. Keep a goal in mind. Just keep the marketing plan in mind, and don't go too in depth because you will strike out. Pitfalls: when the client gives you an appointment but asks to see your presentation or agenda ahead of time, be vague and send bullet points and talking points, and also back off if the prospect doesn't want to meet again. And lastly, end of conversation. You want to find a common ground of personal nature that you can use to maintain future dialogue before you say goodbyes and stuff like that. You always want to make an appointment after to follow up. You want to be non-judgmental about and say like thank you for taking your time off your day, such as that. Learn from their experience. You want to learn what you could have done to improve better, and use that for future talks. And lastly, voicemail. Be humble when sending a message. Don't overdo it, and always call at a better time. So yeah, and don't call it like odd hours. I think the best times are weekends. And for being humble, you want to be enthusiastic, but you don't want to annoy the prospect as well. So don't send too many messages. So yeah, so that ends my presentation of chapter 6. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.